If you've been watching the last couple of weeks, I'm betting the south of France has totally charmed you. We kicked off our scenic journey in this idyllic part of the world in Chalon. And from there, we've made our way down the Rhône, through the Burgundy wine region and into Provence. For the final leg of the journey, we're starting in Avignon, famous for being the seat of the Pope in the 14th century, and of course, for its much celebrated and sung about bridge. What a fabulous place to kick off the final stretch of our scenic Tours Rhone journey. We've docked right in the heart of town, just a few minutes walk from all the action. Time to explore. The Pont D'avignon, as it's known, is the perfect starting point. Built back in the 12th century, it was quite an impressive engineering feat for its time. Amazing technology to build this bridge all those years ago.
Yeah, and only in 8 years.
It only took 8 years?
Yes, for the wooden bridge. Maybe for the stone one, it's a little bit longer, but it's quite impressive.
Yeah. My guide, Gillian Bongiovanni, tells me what we see today is just a fraction of the original structure.
This bridge was the link between the two banks of the Rhone River. So it was a very long bridge, so 1 kilometer long. Oh. And to maintain a bridge like that, it costs a lot of money to the city and to the inhabitants of Avignon. And so at the end, people decided to just give up the bridge in the 17th century. And after that, so many arches were destroyed by the Rhone River. So 22 arches when it was complete, and we have only 4 arches left today.
Which probably actually makes it more famous, doesn't it?
Yes.
The old town of Avignon is enclosed by almost 4 kilometres of giant stone walls, known as ramparts, which were originally built back in the 14th century when the Vatican moved in. So here's one of the little doors.
Yeah, one of many.
What will be revealed on the other side? The city itself is quite something, and for many of Scenic's guests, Avignon is the highlight of the entire tour. And best of all, there's plenty of free time to really enjoy it.
You sort of come into this town and standing on board the ship and you see it all, and yeah, it's really something to see, isn't it? And the fact that you don't have to do the tours, you can do them, and all the free time you get to.
The centre of town for over 500 years is the Place de la Loge, an open square with the town hall on one side and the 19th century theatre next door.
This is really the heart of Avignon, yes. With all the cafes, it was already the heart of Avignon in the Roman time with the Forum, the market in the Middle Age, so it wasn't still here at the heart of the city.
So nothing really changes. Everyone still likes to gather in the same square.
Yeah.
All of these French towns seem to have their own culinary specialty, and Avignon is no exception. I hear Avignon serves a mean ice cream.
Yeah, you have ice cream everywhere, really all over. Maybe you are also famous for that.
Well, I'm happy to buy you one, but you will have to do the ordering. Is that okay?
Okay, deal. Okay.
Ah, life is pretty good.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Cheers.
You must love living in this city. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It is lively. Shopping area, so great.
As the seat of the Vatican for over 60 years, Avignon was a place of incredible wealth, and the remnants of that can be seen in the grand buildings that still stand to this day. The grandest of them all is the much revered Pope's Palace. Ah, you can see the Pope's Palace from nearly everywhere in Avignon.
Yeah, really from everywhere. It's so massive, you cannot miss it, and it's very impressive. It's one of the biggest Gothic palaces in the world. It's big, like 4 Gothic cathedral of 15,000 square meters of floors. It's really called it palace, but it looks more like a fortress or like a castle.
Very humbling.
Yeah.
We're docked right in the heart of the beautiful city of Avignon. And today I'm heading out to shop with the chef at one of the many local produce markets. Head chef Florine Floria tries to shop local everywhere the ship stops and incorporate the specialties of the region into the menu on board. What in particular from Avignon do you like to buy? What's their specialty?
For example, here I like olives, condiments, I feel like home. And I like also the oyster wine.
So you've got different flavours?
Yes, One is salty, another one it's sweet and fat, say like that.
Sweet and fat.
Yes.
That sounds good. Put me down for some of those.
Yes, of course. Would you like to have a test?
I would love to. Okay, so these are the sweet oysters.
Yes.
Slippery little suckers. They are very sweet.
Yes.
Oh, you've got a good supplier. He knows what he's doing. That's delicious. Experiencing a local market gives you a real insight into how the locals eat and the flavours they use. Oh, these salts are beautiful. You can smell the rose in the rose salt. So you've got special salts for fish,
Yes.
some for meat.
This we have with the parsley and garlic. Here with the rose. We have also with the lavender.
Oh, famous in
Yes.
Provence.
Yes, of course.
The region is also famous for its olives, and as part of today's scenic free choice options, I've chosen to explore one of the local mills. The Moulin Saint-Jean is a fourth-generation family-owned mill with over 5,000 olive trees. What do you love about the produce of Provence?
I love product in Provence because it's fresh and I have to use local product. I think is most important in cuisine.
And also, I think cooking in such a beautiful environment must add to the deliciousness of the food.
Yes.
Renowned local chef Fabien Moriari cooks up a very French dish for us all to enjoy as part of our visit, laden with the local olive oil and plenty of flavour. I can smell the truffles in it.
Oh, it's just delicious. Can you see those fried onions at the very top? Look at this.
Yes, bit of crunch.
Ça va être bon. Bon appétit.
C'est magnifique.
C'est delicious.
It is. My guide, Marie Medina, says the reputation of Provence for great food is all to do with the weather.
Well, you know, Fabien told us that everything is fresh, but in fact, it's fresh because we've got the climate. More or less 280 days of sun, so that is a guarantee for the fruit and vegetable to grow up very nicely.
Local produce is delivered fresh to the ship most days. Every meal is an experience in itself, and if you're staying on the Diamond Deck, you're also treated to a degustation dinner during your stay at Table La Rive.
The first starter is a lemongrass creme brulee. So will open up your appetite. Enjoy it.
But while the onboard meals are exceptional, there's a couple of exciting dinner outings through the cruise that are not to be missed. The Pope's Palace is one of France's most visited monuments. Hundreds of thousands of people come through here every year, but only a very select few get to dine inside. And fortunately, being with Scenic opens a few doors. There's even time for a little tour of the indulgent interiors of the palace with my personal Pope's Palace guide, Philippe Bonfilio.
So that was the courthouse.
Wow, the size of it.
Well, everything was concentrated right here. I mean, that was Rome, where the Pope's Rome is, and all the different departments of the church for about 94 years lived here in Avignon. That's where everything would be decided. So, of course, it has to be grand. When you're entering the Pope's Palace, you need to know who's living in here. So, of course, the rooms had to be very big. So now we're going to a very important place, which is the window where the Pope would bless and wave the crowd.
Really? Every Pope?
Every Pope.
With a classical concert just for us and a fabulous three-course meal, dining within these magnificent walls really is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It's part of the Scenic Enrich program, exclusive experiences on the cruise designed to be truly unforgettable. So, John, I don't know about you, but this isn't something that I do every day.
No, certainly not.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, absolutely. Everything just gets better every day. It's surprising that each day can get better than the past when you think that it's about as good as it can be.
It's really something very special, something very different, and something that you learn from Scenic to expect, really. Just something out of the ordinary, and yeah, it's really nice.
After experiencing the incredible history and culture of the famous city of Avignon, our scenic journey through the south of France is delivering us to our final resting point in Tarascon, the gateway to the Camargue. This is a very different landscape to anything that we've seen along the Rhone.
So this is the Camargue, which is the Rhone Delta. In Arles, the river splits into two, and then before it gets to the sea, and it's a very marshy area, and we call it the Camargue. And it's a perfect place, for example, to go bird watching, because there are hundreds of different species of birds.
What kinds have you got here?
The star of the show would be the pink flamingo. This is the only place in Europe where pink flamingos nest. We have plenty of storks, plenty of herons, plenty of eagles, owls. There are more than 400 different species.
My guide, Philippe Bonfilio, has brought me to the local ornithological park, where we're guaranteed a look at the many species of bird life. I've been to parks before where you see the animals, but they're tiny little dots, they're so far away. This is wonderful.
Here, yeah, that's the closest you can get. If you love bird watching, you've got two options. Or you wake up very early and you walk a lot, then you lie in the mud for hours.
Yes.
Or you come here to this park and you can see them up close and personal.
Yes, and you can just stand here and watch them in their natural habitat. It's incredible. The pink flamingos are migratory and spend the spring and summer here in the Camargue and then head across the Mediterranean to Africa for the European winter. What do you love about the Camargue?
Well, it's very nice, very quiet, very peaceful. There are big open spaces where you can be on your own. You can get away from the hustle and bustle of the modern world. So it's a great place to relax.
And it's very isolated, obviously.
And it is because there are a lot of it is are wetlands, so difficult of access. And there are very few of those wetlands in Europe, so we try to protect it as much as possible.
The environment is totally different. You know, we've come right from the top, actually. We've done 2 tours and it's been fantastic, you know, and the variation in France is amazing. You just don't realise what the animals are like until you get so close to them. It's fantastic.
The other star of the show in the Camargue is the white horses, an ancient breed indigenous to this area.
Those are particular horses. It's a typical breed. They probably used to be all over Europe at some point, thousands of years ago. But somehow now they only live in this particular part of France. And the particular thing about them is that they're born brown or black. And when they get to adult age, usually they turn white.
Sugar man, won't you hurry?
And just a few kilometres from the flat, marshy wetlands the Camargue is famous for, the landscape changes again.
Indeed, we're still in the Camargue, but this is a completely different place. This is Marie De La Mer, and this is a popular sea resort. So I see a lot of people come here to enjoy a little sun, a little Mediterranean Sea as well.
Built where the Rhone River meets the Mediterranean Sea, Marie De La Mer is a small fishing village and the capital of the Camargue. This compact seaside town is a popular holiday spot for French locals looking for a coastal getaway. So like in every town in France, the cathedral, the church is the big draw card, isn't it?
Right.
Shall we?
Of course.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
The Church of Marie De La Mer is a true fortress, towering over the village below, and it offers the best views in town. Oh, you can climb up on the roof.
You thought that was the end.
No.
It's not.
Fun.
Still, we need to go all the way up there.
I've never seen a church where you can climb on the roof.
So here you are.
Oh, what a great view.
Closer to heaven. So you get to see the sea on that side and the beach. And on that side, you see the lagoons, and further down that way, there's the heart of the Camargue, which is the area that is highly protected, very protected.
In the luxury of the scenic emerald, we've made our way from Chalon in the eastern centre of France, all the way down the Rhone to our final destination of Arles. Given its location on the Mediterranean between Italy and Spain, it played an important role in the Roman Empire, and its influence can be seen throughout the city. It's the hometown of my guide, Marie Medina.
You have a beautiful hometown.
Yes, it's really something very special. It's very Mediterranean, eh? It looks more like a Mediterranean city, very similar with Greek cities or Italian, Spanish city. It's not very French.
Its most visited attraction is its Roman Amphitheater, which stands as a testament to the city's glory days under Roman rule.
So the amphitheater is really the symbol of Arles.
Absolutely. So you see, that is just incredible to think that 2,000 years ago, that monument was built by the Roman people, and they used to do some games inside. That was very important for them.
It looks so clean.
Yes, it's been restored. They washed the stones. Those are limestones coming from the Alpilles, and they look very, very new, but they are 2,000 years old. In few years it was built, they used the local stone, and what is really interesting is that this entertainment building was housing those gladiator games. 25,000 people could attend to those games. Can you imagine?
Wow.
They were very cruel, very cruel.
Bloodthirsty. You can actually kind of imagine 25,000 people here chanting for the gladiators.
Absolutely. You've got to imagine that was very important for the Roman people. Those games were super important. So every month they were organizing games, so gladiator games, so those people were fighting for life, for their freedom, or for their death.
Arles' other claim to fame is as the temporary home for painter Vincent van Gogh.
What brought Vincent van Gogh to Arles?
You know, Vincent van Gogh was looking for light, so he decided to leave Paris because Paris was grey, and he was looking for those colors. When he came in the south, that was fireworks of colors. So he wanted to paint on site, on the motif, and the climate, the Mediterranean climate, was super for that. So that's why he settled here in Arles, and he decided to paint it days and nights.
So inspired by the light of the south of France, Van Gogh produced over 300 paintings in just over a year of living in the city, including some of his most famous masterpieces.
Van Gogh did a lot of painting at night, for example, Starry, Starry Night, which is just beautiful. How did that all come about?
Well, he was non-stop. I mean, he was painting all day long, all night long. So you've got to imagine him in this square where we are, painting in front of that cafe. And it's yellow, the cafe is yellow, but it was not yellow. It was because of the gas light on that cafe. And he was painting what he was feeling. He saw that light projected on the facade, and he painted a yellow cafe.
Over the last 3 weeks, we've brought you the cuisine, the culture, and of course the lifestyle here in the south of France. From the cities of Avignon and Lyon to the charming villages of Viviers and Perouge, our scenic tours journey has been truly wonderful and of course delicious. Thanks for joining us. Au revoir.